this video today is going to be a scrap lift of this fantastic layout by B Valent, and I'm gonna get my airbrush out, which I haven't done for a long time. So let's get started. I've chosen to use one of my masks, which is a Dear Lizzie one, and I've made a circle. I've cut a circle out of some spare cardstock I've got, and I'm just gonna place it on there and use the circle as a mask, because I only want the top half of the circle really to be coloured. So this is my airbrush. It's quite a little small one, but for the amount of area that I cover each time, it's just about the right amount. So I'm going to be using a couple of India inks, Bombay inks that I've got, and a Winsor Newton one. I've chosen three colours that reflect a lot of the colours in the Vicky Boughton Field Notes collection, and also a couple of the photos that I've picked out. I haven't quite decided which photo I'm going to use yet, so I'll decide once I've finished the spraying. So what I'm doing first is I'm starting with the orange, and I'm just going in a few areas. The top trigger on this airbrush has got sort of like different pressures. The more you pull it back, the sort of like the stronger and wider the spray is. So it's just sort of playing around at first and finding out what you're comfortable with, and obviously how much of a wide spray you want. Sorry, I couldn't find my words then. So as you can see, I was just cleaning it. I use isopropanol as a thinner with the inks, just to make the ink go a little bit further, and so it's not such a deeply concentrated colour. As you can see, I just spray a little bit in there then, but I also use it to clean the brush and the reservoir out afterwards as well. So I just wanted to show you the first one, but the rest of them I've cut out of the video just because it makes it even longer. And then this Winsor Newton one hasn't got a little pipette on it, so I've got a couple of little syringes that I use for the inks there. So I'm going in first just with a light spray, and then just going around a couple of the edges of the flowers afterwards, just for a slightly more concentrated look on the petals. So I've finished, I've cleaned up, and this is the reveal of my half circle that I've done the airbrush in. It dries real quickly because you're only doing a fine mist of spray on there. It doesn't leave any sort of like wet on the paper, which helps. Obviously there's not much moisture going into the paper, so it's not warping. I'm still undecided on the photos. I've chosen 4 photos there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to choose which scraps of paper from the Vicky Boughton Field Notes collection and the Lottie Loves Paper kit that I'm going to use for the segments on the bottom half of the circle. So the September kit this month included a couple of the Vicky Boughton papers, and also some of the ephemera and the thickers phrases. There were some other pieces in the add-ons, like some stencils and a couple of the other ephemera pieces, chipboard words, and then the rest of the collection went on sale as general sale as well. I absolutely love it. I love the colours, I love the ephemera, and everything about it, and the actual sort of like you can use the watercolour paper, the sides of the papers with the watercolours, should I say. If you're not too keen on getting messy yourselves and making a mess, you can use those to give that effect anyway, which is absolutely fab. So I've sped this bit up just because I've chosen the papers I'm using, and I'm just going to draw around the segment that I've cut out, as a template and then just cut them out. So this all came about, this scrap lift all came about, Natalie was doing a live feed in Facebook on the For the Love of Pretty Paper group on Friday night, and wanted a couple of sketches to choose from. So I found 2 sketches that I've kept in my Pinterest thing for a while that I've wanted to do, and I gave Natalie the choice. She then put it to the vote, and she scrapped along with one on Friday night, which I did as well. And then this was the other one that didn't get the vote on Friday night, but a couple of us still liked it, so we said that we'd scrap lift it on Saturday, and we all sort of worked at our desks separately, but sort of just chatted online whilst we were doing it. So yeah, I'm just trying to get the placement of the papers so that I'm happy, and then I'm gonna have to make a decision on the photos as well. So all of these photos are ones from our recent trip to Italy again. You might get fed up of seeing them in a bit, but I like to scrap them as they're so recent, and they are sort of my favourite moments at the moment, and the field notes collection goes so well with them because it's all about being outside and enjoying the outdoors and exploring, which is obviously what our Italian trip was about. I've decided to go with the photo of Rob on the Segway, which was my original choice anyway. One of the reasons I put the orange in there, although it's in the papers, his t-shirt has sort of like a reddy orange tint to it, so I thought I'd go with that anyway. The segways were a bit of fun that we had in Borghese Villa Gardens in Rome. We'd seen them. This is that was our 3rd time in Rome, and we'd seen them every time, and we'd fancied a go, but we'd never gotten round to it. So it was just the perfect opportunity. We had an hour to spare, so we just thought we'd just sort of like zoom around the park on these segways and have a bit of fun, which it was. I'm just cutting the curve off of the segments, just because in the original layout the curves were cut off, but also I've felt that it actually sat better around the bottom of the thing with the overlaps when you overlap them than if you've got the curves on. And this way you can sort of like just offset them slightly, and it looks just slightly better with the corners sort of like poking out when you've offset them. And obviously just sort of overlapping them as well. So I'm just trying to get the placement of that done at the moment. The nice thing about using the ATG is the tape is slightly repositional on there. As long as you don't press it down too hard to start with, it is quite forgiving, and you can sort of like reposition it slightly. I wasn't quite happy because it wasn't quite a flat semicircle there, so I was just repositioning it to get all of the segments in. There were quite a few segments there to fit. So all of the groups, the Facebook groups, the Instagram accounts, and Lottie Loves Paper website, I will put in the links down below in the comments. And if you obviously want to see any more of my videos, hit subscribe, and I try and do at least one a week if I can, depending on time and whether I remember to set my camera up to to film. Sometimes I get halfway through and go, oh, I was going to film this one, but never mind. This one I got done mainly because a couple of the girls that I was chatting with wanted to see the airbrushing, and how it works, and it is very addictive once you get it. Like I said, I haven't had mine out for ages. Now it's out of its hiding place, I think it will stay out and maybe get a little bit more use in the next couple of layouts. But I don't like all my layouts to be samey, so I do sort of try and differ up the sort of like the mixed media that I use in there. So I'm just turning up the edges slightly just to give it a little bit more dimension on the page. It was just a little bit too flat for me, so I've just done that, and this is a bit of self-adhesive foam that I'm going to put on the back of the photo just to lift it off the page slightly as well. I'm also open to suggestions, so if there's something you want to see me demonstrate, any different techniques or anything like that, please just leave a comment down below and I will do my best to upload some other videos with other techniques and layouts in them. I'm thinking, yeah, in the next couple of weeks I'm going to do a couple of different techniques on my pages to demonstrate the different ways that you can use mixed media in your layouts. But yeah, that's another on another day. So yeah, I'm just going to go through the ephemera packs. So there's the sort of like frames packs and the ephemera there. There's also these, this is the thickers phrases, which I absolutely love. I love the fonts on them. I love the starkness, the contrast on them, on white and on sort of like lighter colours as well on pages. They really do stand out really well. So I've gone with the simple things. Segways are such simple things. I never realised how easy they were to ride until we did it. It's just literally using your hips, tilting your hips forward, tilting your hips back to go backwards and stop, and just steering it like a scooter. They were just so easy and lots of fun to ride as well. So it was another thing ticked off my list. I'm not quite sure how big a screen you're watching this on, so I'll just let you know. So the little black frame I was playing around with there says "Embrace the Journey" on it, and the green chipboard phrase I've put at the top there says "Make time for daily adventures." So I'm just going through, sorting out whether I want any more phrases on there, and then sort through the ephemera as well. So there are so many fantastic phrases in this collection, and they are just, yeah, they're just so many. Right, this little bird, I'm not quite sure what bird he is. He looks like a baby kingfisher to me, but he's just so cute. And I know there's no birds in the photo. I know it's not really relevant apart from we're in a park, but I just loved him. So he's going to sit on the top of the photo there on his little perch. So what I've done here is, as you can see, these are the Ultra Ball ephemera stickers in the Field Notes collection, and I got my airbrush back out again and just airbrushed a couple of the stickers. I put them onto a piece of packaging that I keep for messy projects like this, and then I airbrushed them with the same colours that I'd used on the background to make them sort of like stand out, but also it matches then top and bottom on there. That little phrase sticker there says "Collect beautiful moments" as well. So I'm just sort of like thinking about the placement of these these little ephemera pieces. At first I was thinking whether the bird could sit on that little branch of leaves, but it wasn't quite the right shape to fit in there. So he's just going to pop himself on the top of the photo. And then I'm just going to place these other pieces around randomly. And then we're almost done. And then what I've done off camera then is just written journaling around the outside of the page, just to sort of like give it a frame and bring everything in together. And here's the finished pieces and some close-ups. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.